I'm going to change the video real quick, just.
Me, sorry.
I don't think this is you.
Oh.
Oh, great.
You know, I'm not gonna see you like that, Texas mom. You think I'm weird?
I said some people are, clearly you're not, you didn't say me and your phone is mom.
Well, it is 6 o'clock. I think everybody that is here is going to be it. We do have some things we wanted to talk about before we got started too far. One of them, that's not what I wanted, hold on, I gotta find it. Okay, hold on. I think it's, we'll just go here. Nope, nope. Okay, that's fine. Just gonna real quick. Why are you doing this to me? One of the things that Lily was going to, of course it's not sharing.
It's paused.
Why? What
You
is,
have to have this one not on the screen.
all right, Lily, were you gonna talk about this? This is the only email I really have is just this.
Yeah,
so.
that's the email.
Okay, so there is the angel tree. So it's gonna be a toy drive in collaboration with the Salvation Army. If we want to participate, we can bring gifts for the holidays to children who otherwise might not receive any. All we would have to do is take an angel from the tree, register it at the desk, and then bring back the gifts. We can decide as a club or whatever we want, kind of.
Basically, all we're asking club is if you want to do this, are we okay with club using roughly $50 to $100 worth of club's money to do this?
Well,
Yeah.
sure as hell not gonna be my money, cause I don't got any.
Well, that's what, we're
Wow.
not asking you for money, we're
Right.
asking it for, if we want to do this and do it as a club. And have maybe a few of us go to the store and pick out some stuff for a kid. Are we okay with using club's money
Sounds like a nice thing to do.
to do it?
I don't see why not.
Okay,
I mean, how much is in our purse right now?
thanks, lady.
At least treatment.
2010 called, they want their joke back.
Mom, mom.
We're doing good, I can tell you that right now.
That's good to hear.
Well,
You have a number for good?
Yeah.
She's working on finding it, I think. I thought last we talked, it was like
If we do
300
this,
something, but.
I would like for us to, not to be like, look, we're giving, but to maybe take a picture of club by the angel tree in the Union. Or a picture of us at the store or something like, not everybody has to be there.
Don't do it, Mr. Beast, is what
We
you said.
could do it though
Yeah.
as like a club wants to share some of their favorite toys or something.
And I assume this isn't just toys, I would think that most of the time nowadays it's clothes and toys. for
Yeah,
kids.
so we could do like some gloves and hats and
Unfortunately, our
stuff.
option is Walmart for things, so, it has to be from Walmart.
Merry Christmas, here's something from Walmart.
What? I don't know, we haven't picked a child yet to, an angel.
It's a great sentence.
Yeah, and so since it has to be done by the 9th, it most likely would be best. Just real quick. Don't worry about all that stuff. I don't want the week, I want the month. Since that would be the first Monday of finals, we can either try and schedule it for one of these. Well, this one is when Thanksgiving break starts, so we could try to schedule it sometime this next week or weekend. If multiple people want to kind of come do it. Or even though it kind of sucks, we can do it during that weekend before finals. But it might be better trying to do it a little earlier, just so we're not cutting into dead week finals time, but also trying to make sure it's on time. Since you have to drop it off at the Union.
I have a number,
Yeah,
we're about 1,400.
Okay,
that's 1,400.
That's at least $2.
1,400.
That is way more than I thought we had. I thought we had it 200.
Oh, no. we're doing just fine.
Yeah, no, if it's like $50 for something for that's fine, we have more than that.
The only reason we asked is because, you know, according to club rules and constitution stuff, we have to ask club to agree to spend our money.
If we have that much of a surplus, it's fine.
So I just wanted to ask to make sure we're doing everything by the books, doing the process right, and, you know. Before we were just like, we're gonna do this,
Yeah.
you know, sucks to suck.
I already gave you the money, I don't.
Right.
care.
So, we'll
What
pick
else?
some time
Sorry.
then, if, I don't know, everyone can maybe sort of meet.
Yeah, I
At
think
any
that was
point
the
in the
only-
union, I don't know if the front desk is open on the weekend. I
It's
think
not,
it wouldn't be. And we have to register that at the service desk. So it'd probably have to be sometime during the week to register it, but that doesn't mean we have to go and take like the picture. If somebody just wants to, you know, go in and grab one and then we can worry about logistics later, but.
Sounds good to me.
Mhm.
All right, another thing, our office secretary Deb came in and talked to me today. This was on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, the 19th.
Yeah, you're gonna put that in the organization too.
So, in the Cardinal Room at the Union, from 5 to 7 this coming Tuesday, there is a Christmas card making for the Elms Nursing Home in town.
It is on another link if you want. to.
Hold on. Gotta pull my Google back up.
close.
We have at least $2. We don't have to only spend 50 cents on the kid.
The
Angel.
best he's getting is $2 and a hang in there kitten poster, okay? Anything more, and you need to stop asking for handouts.
You'll have to go forward a few pages. Scroll down and go forward a few
Give
pages.
him a Bible.
It was like page 2 or 3. Not page 1. Next page. I was looking through this earlier, sorry. Maybe it was on the 4th page.
Did you?
This is still on the 18th. Now we're starting to hit 19. There it is. But yeah.
God, a little more pixels in there.
Yeah. Didn't really.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, I'm almost certain no one in IT of this university knows what the hell they're doing.
See,
Oh, yeah, that's how you download.
No.
oh, no.
Oh, no.
There we
They
go.
purposely
There's an
did.
issue. It's like 100 by 100.
Anyway. So this is gonna be the cards, so it'll be next Tuesday from 5 to 7 in the Lincoln Room. I don't think we have to sign up per se,
No, it's a show up thing.
so if a group of you guys,
Available.
of us want to, if available and whatnot.
I work 5:30 to 8:30, so.
No, 3 of us. 5 of us have class until 5:10.
You can show up later.
We could go.
Hey, I'm sure you can show. It says 5 to 7.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're gonna be making.
That was-
I used to do that in high school, in one of the clubs I was doing, we would sit there for like an hour and just.
Here's the other thing though, that I'm gonna bring up real quick,
For veterans.
is that the Sigma Gamma Epsilon, which is the meteorology part of like the professional Greek life for them, has their game night too, so it depends on what you want to do. They do have that, but then there is the flyer as well, so it's just kind of whatever you guys decide to do, so.
Maybe is that like 4 something, 4:30?
Sure.
When do they not get it? I'm gonna ask them.
Anything
Yeah,
else?
Oh, I thought it was a job.
Is that
Oh,
all?
we did a job interview. I'm on the interview
Is
now.
that everything?
Oh.
Okay, do you have anything else?
The t-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, hold on, I gotta go to the Zoom,
Yeah,
just open this one.
Show, but I see you did it, like, oh, you're not.
Words are mine.
This is the current design that Andy has been making progress on
Oh, yeah.
for the t-shirt. The only thing missing is the text still, but we've got the car and the hat, so.
So,
I really like it, but
yeah.
what do you
that was
have
very
to say?
cool.
Let the man speak.
All right, yeah, hold on, let me wake up my 80-year-old man bones and get up. Ah, okay. Okay, so hold on, my nervous system just shut down. Okay, so I'm just gonna full disclosure to everyone, right? I've had a shitty past 2 weeks, so I cobbled this together. What time is it?
6 p.m.-ish.
6:10. I cobbled this together an hour ago.
Okay.
Because, fuck.
Well,
But
it
so
looks
I put a shitty cowboy hat on it, like everyone asked. And I also got the car headlights.
I think the car looks cool.
Yeah, so a point about that. Which tornado was it again that the headlights were from?
Oh, Rolling Fork.
Rolling Fork, thank you. So originally the Rolling Fork ones, I brought the video up. It only had the headlights and a little bit of the light beam, right? I did that, I toyed around with it for like 15 minutes and there was no way in hell an average viewer was gonna think like, okay, that's clearly that's clearly a car headlights, right? And like just to zoom out a little bit, like no one's gonna know, no sane, normal person is gonna look at that and go like, oh, it's from that specific tornado. Like this is a treat for us, okay?
Yeah, this is just our bonus.
So I needed to make it look like actually something and not like I accidentally made the world's shittiest Mario symbol. So I I bent it a little bit and I gave like windshield and wipers and
I
everything.
think that's perfect.
That's
Yes.
great.
Oh, looks great.
On a more design aspect, I put it on a white background just for viewing, right? It's not final, it's temporary, whatever, right? Anything that's white and even fading into it can be changed. It can be made transparent or, you know, one color block if you're insane. And graphic design is your passion and you think Comic Sans is not a crime against humanity. That's it. That's all that I got.
It's good.
Like, I'm sorry, I don't have
That's all right.
thrilling Nuremberg trial level conversation in me right now, but I'm like fucking dead inside, so this is what you get.
You didn't do fine.
It's good.
Okay,
Good stuff.
alright, we need text, can I just get a reminder of what we want for the text, because I'm gonna be real with you, that has fallen out of my brain from all the other crap I have to put in it.
I mean, besides obviously WIU Severe Weather Club, it was the what in tornation.
Tornation, yeah,
Well, you said tornation, we originally said rotation, but
Yeah.
either one that you decide.
because I'm infinitely cool, got it, okay, so it's what in tornation, right? I remember that I was gonna repurpose our original club icon design of like the fronts,
Yeah.
boxing it in.
But that was about it. It was kind of
Okay.
a creative freedom to you. When you have time, don't stress yourself out. We
That's
can-
usually a mistake,
The Severe Weather Club.
Well, don't worry. If you don't have this done by the time we start next semester, I'll be on your butt about it. So,
Like the small, Severe
Yeah.
Weather Club.
Yeah.
thing, And then this part on the back.
because, yeah,
What
I'm gonna
rotation or
try
coordination
and
on
get it
this side
done,
Or on the front.
I'm gonna try and get it done for winter break. Cause during winter break, I'm gonna do like a massive refactor of the news assets.
mhm.
There's no way in hell I'm gonna juggle two things at once, so.
Sounds good. But you can decide if you want to try and fit what in rotation on the front,
Yeah,
or if you want to
so-
try and fit it with this.
Can you, what else do we have to do this meeting?
Well, we're gonna be doing education stuff, so we're gonna be teaching people, so
Okay,
this is about.
can I ask that we do one thing? Can you bring up the website that we used to order the shirts again? I wanna
Ooh.
see if there's an option for something, cause that's gonna change how I format my final stuff.
He's still vertical though.
Don't ask questions you don't want to.
What do you want me to see if there is?
So, okay, I wanna know, so. Previously, and whenever we've done something like this, it's been one transparent image that we put on the shirt. And then they just kind of print it, slap it on the tits, done, shipped, checks, cashed.
Mhm.
So instead, I wanna see, are you able to add more than one image? Like, can I split up the assets?
Let's just say
right?
for a moment, we can,
I think he made an upload. Spoiler and upload.
Yes,
Yeah,
Not
but
just-
there's not really
Go back. it
if
said
you
upload.
attribute a clip art smiley face to me, I will be up.
this
So,
same
I don't know
idea.
if We can really.
I don't even know if
Do
I
we
have
even
it.
have two images to put on here? Cool.
Just for the heck
Now,
of it.
just try and add like a second one if you can.
A second of the same image?
Well, it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
any image, I just wanna see if it's possible to add two. Because if so, then I'm gonna split up the assets so that I have one of the art and then one of the text, and we can like shuffle, and we can do that, it's possible?
Yes.
Perfect, cool, alright, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have the art and the text file separate, because otherwise having, like, the text is much wider, right, and it's gonna mess up the resolution and everything. So if I keep it separate, it will be much easier to adjust to our liking,
Perfect.
rather than them being tied to each other.
Mhm.
Alright,
Alright,
cool,
One last thing I just thought of, we've been not unsure what we wanna do next week, movie or study night, so I was gonna just leave it up to a group vote. So you guys wanna put your heads down, so if we do like a study night, be helping you guys study for finals, whatnot. Anything like that, or we can do a movie night, find a movie that we all like and just do like an easygoing thing, since it's Thanksgiving Dead Week finals. So if everyone wants to put their head down, I'll take a count and I'll just,
I will say, we did agree on that, but we could do a vote.
I don't remember ever being in agreement, but we'll just vote
Does
for
anyone
club.
in our godforsaken, godless, fucking awful physics class remember what day the exam is next week?
It's this week on Friday,
It's this week on Friday,
the 15th.
I said 20th.
It's the 15th. All right. Everybody has their head down. Raise your hand if you would like to do a movie night instead. All right. And then raise your hand if you'd like to do a study night. Okay. Movie night 1. So we will do a movie night. And then if you guys want to try and sit together during the movie, you can study together. If anybody wants to do that, it's not gonna have to be like you have to fully focus on it.
There
So,
will be a quiz on the movie.
Well, this is next week, right?
yes, this is next
Okay.
week, which will be our last meeting of the semester.
It will be, you know, like, you have to fill it out and then you don't get any of the questions until like one like segment where it's like 90 things.
Alrighty, who would like to teach first?
I can.
Okay. Claire is up first for today's meteorology education course. Let me just get this.
Okay. I know those of you in synoptic and really taken synoptic and Andy taken synoptic, have heard of METARS. But yeah, I'm gonna do a little crash course on them. Oh, I can do that, can't I?
Well-
Other side. Go all the way over to the corner and then tap down at the bottom and then press the arrow.
Okay, so basically METARS are used in aviation meteorology to communicate between the people and then the pilots. Kind of.
Good job.
Okay. Yeah. I think this is really quick, sorry. So the first thing that you're gonna see is the airport identifier. So I grabbed a couple examples. This is Macomb, and then I just went and found, okay, there's weather in this place, and this is from, I can't.
California.
Yeah, it's in California, anyway, Northern California, very Northern California, so. The first letter of all airport identifiers in the US they're gonna start with a K, as you can see. Canada is another one that we see a lot, well, we see more. They'll start with the C. And you can see here, there are identifiers. So the next thing that's there is the date and time, so they only put the day of the month, so starts with the 13th, it's the 13th today. And then the time in Zulu, so you would convert that from Zulu to local time, which I believe for us is 6 hours right now, so for California, it would be 8 hours. So, pulled this today, 13th day of the month at 1935 Zulu, so that would be about 1:30 135 here. And then this one was at 2021 Z from today, so that would be
8. It'd be
So,
about
like-
2.
12:21 PM in California. Next thing is surface winds. So your first 3 digits are the wind in the meteorological sense, so coming from the direction it's coming from. So, and then the other digits are the wind speed in knots. If there's a G in there, it is talking about the wind gusts. So here, coming from 110 degrees, which is going to be east-southeast, and it's blowing at 13 knots. This one was one I hadn't seen before, so I had to do a little research. So it was wind coming from various directions, and it was blowing at 3 knots.
VRB is very different.
Oh. All right, so the next thing is prevailing visibility. So that's gonna be the greatest visibility from the. So you're highlighted in red, 10 statute miles, so you're able to see 10 miles. That's really good visibility. But in California, it was only 1.25 mile. Not great. I believe at that point you have to use instruments to help them land, so. Worst conditions, so present weather, there's the common abbreviations, we've got rain, which is RA, SN is snow, FG is fog, those are pretty obvious, and then this one I found today, BR is mist. And then the symbols over there, there will be a minus sign next to it for light, nothing for moderate, and then a plus sign for if it's heavy. So in Macomb, nothing, clear weather, as of the time I got this. And then in California, there was light snow and mist. Sky conditions, so this is like cloud cover. SKC, sky is clear, view, so they split the sky up into 8ths when they're talking about this, so 2/8 or 1/4 of the sky is covered with few clouds scattered, 3/8 to 4/8 of the sky is covered, broken. 5/8 to 7/8 of the sky is covered, and overcast is completely covered. And they will give you the height, as you can see, 41. You add 2 zeros to that, and that's the height of the cloud base in feet. And if the clouds are too low, they'll give it in vertical visibility. So scattered clouds at 4,100 feet here in Macomb today, and it was overcast at 1,300 feet out in California. Temperature and dew point, so it'll be temperature / dew point. It's in Celsius, and if there's an M in front of the number, that means it's negative. So in Macomb it was 11 degrees Celsius, and the dew point was 6 degrees Celsius. Out in California, it was the temperature and dew point were both 1 degree Celsius. The altimeter is, so basically this is the pressure. Kind of hard to explain. The altimeter measures elevation, and the altimeter setting is what the pressure is adjusted to accurately read elevation. So A is the identifier for that, and it's measured in inches of mercury. So A22991, you just added a decimal in there, so it's 29.91 inches of mercury. And then for California, 29.88 inches of mercury. Then last is the remarks. So what? This is so weird. I don't know what's going on, you guys, sorry. Anyway, it can include various different things. So off the top of my head, I remember it can include very different cloud types, so more specifics when it comes to clouds, if it's an automated system or people have made adjustments to it. The Macomb just had an automated system, and then California had more that I had to look into that I hadn't seen before. So the A02, that means automated system. The RAE 09, rain ended 9 minutes ago. And then SNV 09 rain or snow began 9 minutes ago. The PRE-SFR pressure is falling rapidly. And then the P0009 was. Yeah. But yeah, that just says how much precipitation fell in the last hour. I think that's it. So there's a little speedy.
Anybody
Intro.
have any questions?
As far as I can try to answer questions. Anything? Awesome.
Which one of you two is next?
You wanna go?
Well, do you wanna do yours first? Cause I use your site. I use one of them.
First, what are you using?
You want Pivotal and Plymouth?
I want the chair so I can do it.
Hold on. Nope, good job.
That makes you feel a crucial importance.
Pardon me.
Scroll up a little
Okay. So we've got two websites here that we all really love for doing weather predictions and other weather related things. If you wanted to look, there's all kinds of things you could look at. Honestly, let's just scroll, go away. Don't promote things here. Jesus, okay. Let me just. So we can see all the top ones. There's lots of different categories. We've got upper air, height, wind and temperature, surface and precip, upper air moisture, upper air dynamics, severe weather and winter weather. And for forecasting, if that's what you were doing, you would probably use mainly surface and precipitation and upper air, height, wind and pressure. You may want moisture if that's something that's important to your area. If there's not gonna be any precipitation or anything that you think moisture is related to, then you don't really need to use that. You've got dynamics, things like vorticity, things rotating, or things changing with height. Look at that little guy right there, a little eddy going on. If you got severe weather and you know that severe weather is coming, you can look at these. You got your CAPE, your SIN, your LCL height. That's a fun one. There you go. You got wind shear, you've got composite parameters and combination plots, which just kind of puts together some of these other ones all into different type of, these are fun. Photographs. We should have done that one today. You don't do too much on these. You just should learn that one on your own. I guess I can teach that one day
Teach
next
that,
semester.
yes.
So what a photograph is when you start in the middle of a circle and as things change, you draw your little line out from the center and then things change and then the line goes different directions and changes color based off what's happening. That's the crash course. I will do a more in-depth explanation on that another time. But all of these little circles represent something different, or a different area and a different thing happening within that area, different rotation with height. Crash course. And then winter weather, which honestly I've not really used much because I haven't really cared about winter weather. But you got your snowfalls and stuff on here. And snow depth, freezing rain. But let's say we're doing something and we wanted to look at temperature. You can do it as a single image where it's gonna show you what the temperature is right now, and you see my little crosshairs here. If we put that right over Macomb, then it's 51 degrees right now. Fun. We can also change it from a single image to not that one. Go back. This one. Forecast loop, which we're way ahead. Stop it. If you hover over anything on this website, it wants you to click on it. This makes me mad about this website. I like this website, but it makes me mad that everything you like put the mouse over the top
Yeah.
of, it's like, you want this? Click on me.
There's like 40 different ways to control the tracking
That
bar.
too.
And all of them are ways that are the way to control something else. I swear to God, I will sneeze and I'll be looking 2 weeks into the future.
Literally. I'd be like, that's weird. Ah, that's because I'm like way ahead
Yeah.
now.
Like every single time we're doing I'm making my weather assets, right? I take some from here and I will scroll a little bit. Oh, I'm getting the forecast of China.
But yeah, it's, oh my God. As soon as you hover over the bar even, it's like, But you
Just
can,
use your tabs.
you can,
There you
oh, no, you can't.
You have to click on the circle.
gotta click
half
on the
time.
circle and then you can use your tablets.
Yeah, but then I have to go down here, so it doesn't really make much of a difference. Another fun thing about this one is when you accidentally click on it, or if you purposefully do it, then you can get your scuties, scuties and juvies, and your photograph is right here. Look, another fun crash course on photographs. Look at that wonky little guy. He's a fun one. Where's the X? No, that one was pretty straight. You don't want the kind that go. Cause that was a total scientific term. Oh my gosh, can we scroll back over here?
It's cool.
We've got all your upper airs. You got 200 millibars, 3, 5, 7, 850, and 925. And this will be your wind. So look at that little fun guy looking through there. Ooh, crazy stuff. Look how fast it's going. Like 100 knots over here. 101, 102. Good stuff. And the color contouring, once you get into the middle where it's more yellow, that's gonna be faster, slower, 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 you know, as you go out from the yellow. And you also have temperature as well, if you felt like it. Not really as useful unless you were doing some sort of upper air analysis, which you could be doing on some sort of case study or something like that. I'm gonna be honest, that looks a little funky. We're gonna move on. This is one of my favorite websites because it's just fun to play around with. Plymouth State Weather Center. You've got what the two main things that I use on this website is under the surface tab, make your own, or the upper air tab, and then make your own, but I'm gonna go surface today. So once you click on make your own, you've got 6 options. You can do plotted maps, contour maps, overlay variables, station meteorograms, state observation listings, and archived SST maps, which are fun ones. We're just gonna go with a recent plotted map. And I'm gonna change it over here. You've got all your areas that you could do, you know, New England, New Hampshire is very special apparently. Northeast, Midwest, Northwest, but I'm just gonna go with the entire United States for right now. And then you've got your variable. We'll keep it on temperature, but these are some of the options you got. I'm not gonna read it off. You guys can read that, right? Okay, next. Since this one, I clicked on recent, we're on the latest, or you could select any hour within the last 36 hours. If you wanted something older than that, that's when you'd click on archived, and then you can find anything from any date from 0Z and 12Z, isn't it? And Then you've got density, which it's on default right now. I'll leave it like that. But if there's too much or the screen looks too crazy, you can put it on a lower density. Or if there's not enough things on the screen, then you can put it at a higher density. And then scaling just means that for temperature, we're going one temperature scale at a time, or 1 degree at a time. And we got our map size, time zone label. We'll keep it on Z time, even though I know some of you don't really know what Z time is. It's just a different form of time that the entire United States, not entire United States, entire world can use. That'll keep everybody on the exact same time at the exact same time. Instead of me being like, it's 6:35 here, but you go over a few states and it's 7:35. It's no, everywhere it is this time. No matter where you are, and you just, in that time zone, wherever you may be, have to then think of, okay, if it's this time in Z time, let me calculate what that is here. It's fun, trust me. It's not very fun. Anywho, the moment we've all been waiting for, the map. There's all your temperatures. That's really all this one does. Is each one, it'll plot your temperatures on different locations, and you can use it to kind of estimate where you're gonna be. You know, if we're right in here, it's 52 up here, it's 55 over here, and that means it's, you know, somewhere in between over here. Rough estimates. If we go back just to see for funsies, if we went on to like the highest density, then you have a lot more numbers.
You don't choose that method.
Yeah, I don't think you should.
The only surface temperatures.
You're telling me you can't see what this temperature is right here?
53.
It's looking like a 51,
Exactly.
So it's good to stay on default.
But then if you put it on the lowest, then you don't get a whole lot. So it's for you to fiddle around with to see how much you want and how little you want. You can also go back one more, do contoured maps, which are fun and colorful. I'm gonna go back to the entire United States. Let's pick a different thing. What do we want? What are we picking? Wind, just wind direction. You want knots,
Do not.
miles per second?
That's meters per second.
Meters per second. I'm aware. I English
Wow.
bad. We've got gusts and we're just direction. Direction doesn't work on a contour map. It's not really,
Wait.
well, it kind of works. We're going, you can't really contour direction very well. I mean, you can, but
Start to a lot. But.
all of this wind in this contour is going that way. That's a good thing. We'll go 5 for intervals. So instead of going by every 2 knots, we're going by 5 knots. And I like color fill, cause then it makes it rainbow colors. And here we go. Okay, so maybe 5 wasn't enough and we don't have enough variation in wind today. There we go. And then you can look at your little graphy here. So you got, this is in knots, so 0. And then you got like 6 knots over here. Wind isn't the best one to do on a contour map.
Good question.
It's the, oh, sorry, intervals were way too low for that one. That's still gonna be a pretty wonky one. It's the height for clouds. Or where they're forming, so they're forming at different
Where's
heights.
the base of the cloud?
No, ceiling. The ceiling would be the top, not the cloud base.
Let's- oh, wait.
Weird. Station pressure. That's gonna be probably too much. Let's try 10. Yeah, it's still a little high. But then there's your pressures. So you've got your lower pressures. And they put a nice little L in there for you, going all the way up to your higher pressures where you'd have a nice little H in it. But I don't know, it's just a good little website to use. You can also do meteograms in there, but I don't think we've talked about that one yet. That's another one we could have done today. What's common station?
ADVN.
That would.
Okay. That's fine. Well, we can do color. Why not? We're not printing this. Yeah. There you go. I got a fun little meteogram, which this, for those who don't know, this one here is your temperatures. So as you move along, it's changing in temperatures. It gets warmer. This was nighttime, I would assume. Where's the time? We got visibility of 10 across the board.
We are clear.
Ain't a particle in view.
I think the time's only at the very bottom.
Yeah, I see that
Really
now.
inconvenient.
Yeah, it's kind of a bad spot for it. Oh, here you go. How to interpret. Interpreting meteograms for dummies. Oh yeah, clear, 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 and then you get some
23.
clouds over here. But yeah, that's that one. Go back. We don't really use the rest of this. We can do, oh, that's not what I wanted. This one. In upper area, that's when you get your options for SKUTs and STUVs. And then data's a fun one. Oh, thank you. I don't even have to type it. This tells you things if you care to look at it. Not a fun one, but like, you know, temperature in Celsius, dew point in Celsius, relative humidity, pressure, height, meters. Yeah, soundings or diagrams and dual sounding. Cause yeah, that's a diagram. Woo,
Tons and tons of seed.
it's pretty windy up here. Way up in that sky.
Yeah, this is strong here.
Okay, well, who's next? Percy, you wanna go? So it's right there. What do you mean? Well, that's not fun. Okay. I'm kidding. This is gonna be just easier. All right. So we're gonna look at, as Lily was saying, the SKUT and STUVE diagram. We're gonna start with the SKUT, and I just picked a random one.
No, you picked Lincoln.
Just click the button. All right, so on your left, you've got all the different pressures and millibars, starting from this set has 1050 and then all the way up to 100. And it'll start at whatever your surface is. So that's, I think ours is 1,000. Yeah, and then on the bottom, you've got the temperature in Celsius, which are the blue ones, and then on the SKUT diagram, the way to find those lines, they're actually the,
This is QT.
yes. I said SKUT,
Okay. I thought you were saying on the other one.
no. On the SKUT, they are the solid lines that start up in the right-hand corner. The upper right-hand corner and go all the way down. And then the other ones that start in the upper right-hand corner that are the dash are the mixing ratio lines, which is what your dew point will follow. And then for these green lines that kind of swish over, that is your dry adiabat, which is your dry line, which is what temperature, or your potential temperature line, which is what your temperature would be if it had no water in it. So you would follow that up. And then the final dash blue line would be your water, your saturation line, which is what clouds would follow. And then it goes up. This yellow line, it would be your parcel line. So the way you would get that would be you'd start at normally you'd start at what the temperature is and then what the dew point is, but this is a computer, so it cancels out this and starts over. And then you'd follow, the temperature would follow this green line all the way up, and you can draw it to wherever you want. And then your dew point would follow that dashed line, and you can draw it to wherever you want. But as soon as they cross, you stop drawing the two lines, and then you would draw that the one line following the dash blue line, going all the way up until you feel like stopping. And then it's practically the same for a SUV, except all of the temperatures are actually perfectly vertical. So any of the easiest way to find them would be to find where they make a perfect 90 degrees with the pressure lines. And then again, it's on this, it's the same colors. The green line is your dry line, which would be your potential temperature, which is no moisture. The dashed lines is your moisture line, which you'd be adding moisture back in, and then your the dash blue line is your saturation line, which is what the clouds would follow. And you'd essentially do the same thing on this as you would the SQT. You'd find the temperature and follow that up the green line, and then find the dew point and follow up the that dashed kind of gold line until they cross, and then follow it up the blue line until you feel like stopping. I ran through that really quick. I, at the moment, cannot remember what the grams per kilogram is. I know you guys will talk about it in dynamic and synoptic. I am just currently blanking on what that is right now.
Sorry to interrupt, but I gotta get going and get to a floor meeting.
Yeah, you're good.
Plus
Yeah, you're fine.
See you guys next week.
So yeah. They're all gonna kind of look different.
Isn't the mixing ratio grams per kilogram?
Yes, thank you.
There you go.
I was blanking. The main line when you're drawing is that you really want to look at is like this parcel line. The temperature and the dew point will do whatever. You'll want to pay attention to that when you're looking for severe weather or just weather in general, but
Or clouds.
or clouds. But that will be on an actual sounding like this. What you guys will do in class, you won't have the those lines or the wind, which is over here. You'll just do the parcel line and then follow that up. And that's about all I've got. I know it was really quick, but they're kind of, that's pretty much all the information. Yes, it looks like a lot, but the more you do it, the more you'll learn to look at, you'll be able to find the lines a little easier. It's just gonna take practice.
You'll get to it.
It's like crash course, welcome to. Set up.
having that clapper behind me. They got those like echoey ones. Yeah, I know how it works. I've been in physics.
Alrighty, I'm going to see if I can get this to rotate the right way, but I highly doubt it.
Why don't you just pull up?
Because I have a reason for what I'm going to do, but it's just gonna be this way,
Ugh.
so you guys can see it,
Really see that.
cause I'm not quite done setting up yet. Alrighty, so basically what I was gonna do real quick, cause we have a few minutes left,
I put the pen on the screen.
is,
That was the whole point of me putting the extension on there.
I'm sorry, but can you please just let me do this the way that I planned
understand,
to?
It's hard to see, I'm sorry.
I have 10
put on
minutes.
the extension for you.
Anyway, using Plymouth, I basically did the make your own surface and it's gonna be temperature. I know you can't really see it right now because of the light, but I just do it this way because basically what we were told by an alumni who came and visited us yesterday and stuff, and a lot of professionals in the field, is that they will do hand-drawn analysis or contouring of different things on maps for like storm chasing and historic going over tornadoes to see if they can find patterns, or severe weather outbreaks to see if there is. And since you guys recently learned like isobars and isotherms, which are basically lines of the same pressure, lines of the same temperature, I figured this would be a good place to start. So basically, this is just gonna be your isotherms plotted onto the map. And what I do is, if I'm doing this with my iPad, just so I can access it easy, is I will attempt to screenshot it. And then once I have the screenshot, I can either save it, but half the time, this is just as easy. I can start doodling it on my phone or on my iPad, because I do that. You don't always have to. Some people print them and will pull out a bunch of colored pencils. Anthony told us every time they storm chase, he has a pack of colored pencils in his printed map he was able to get in his with them. And then what you can do is, once you get it to analyze, we'll do isotherms for this one. You're gonna basically try and start with lines of the same temperature and do your best. So for me right now, one of my things is I see a lot of 50s that are just gonna be a straight 10 degrees. So for me, that's always kind of my starting point, is that I can easily draw a line or an isotherm, as they're called, that basically is going to go through all the 50s because it's gonna be of the same temperature. But then I notice that I have a 46 up here, and then I go to a 51. So I'm gonna curve my line closer to the 51, since it's my 50 degrees temperature and it's not gonna be a 46. And so I'm gonna continue doing that through all the ones I see. So I have another 51, I have a 52, up here, this one's about a 51. So I'm gonna just keep going this way. And then I see that I have 49s around here, so I have to go down below them, because 50 is gonna be close to a 49, but it's obviously not gonna be less than. So I'm gonna go under them, and then I look and I have a 52, so I have to come back up. And then there's my 50, and then all the way up here, there's some more, so it's gonna curve back up here. And then looks like there's a 50 here. And that's basically this side of my line is doing all of this through that same temperature. And I start with this as like my basis line, and I'm just gonna do half the map for now. So then for me, which I realized too, half the time you kind of have to go back, is that there is another 50 in here. So then I want to make sure I include it. And granted, if you're trying to do this in a rush, like Anthony does storm chasing, it may not be perfect, but it gives you an idea to see kind of where the weird lines are happening, where your highs and your lows are forming. And then for hand-drawn analysis, it's really a good study tool. So my next line will say is gonna be 60 if I go by tens. So I have a 61 here, so I know I'm gonna be really close to being above that line, since it's a 1 degree difference. And then I have a 59 right below it, so I'm gonna go under my 59. And then I noticed there's quite a few 59s closer to here and then a low 60 in a sense, so I'm gonna stay closer to them, but I'm going to go through this. And then I have a 66 split and a 68, so obviously I'm gonna have to come back up. And sometimes it's not gonna be exact, like when you get into this tight space here, and this is 68, so I wanna stay away from it, but I also don't wanna be in my 50 line. You just kinda do what you can to make it through. And then you're gonna go back and go around to see where there is, and since there's no other 60s, I kind of just give myself the space and I'll clear it off my map. And then your next line would say be 70. So again, I have like a 69 here and a
can't see that.
71 here. Over in Texas, it's not gonna show because I don't really have it on the photo, but I just do my best guess here. And everything is 70s, kind of probably be the last one I would personally do, just because there's a lot more. There's some 80s, but there's not very many in Texas. So it's kind of getting to a last shot, and these are all 60, so it'll go off this way. And then basically, as I do this, I notice that okay, well, that's helpful. That my temperature lines in the area they were basically like in this area, since it just did that. They got really close together because I have a bunch of differing numbers, so then I'd go look at a pressure map and see what I can do and do hand-drawn analysis to see, can I compare it and see if my pressure is changing there since my temperature. Then you can look at like your surface observations. Does it state that there's a high? Is it stating there's gonna be a low? Do I have a front moving in, or is it saying there's clouds and stuff? So you can kind of start seeing areas that are going to look like they're meeting up and things. And as you get further into meteorology, you'll see kind of what areas of convergence look like and learn what they bring with them. And a lot of times they'll make you do this in the professional world. We had one in WS dude tell us that he made some of the other people, he would do it so he could practice and keep it sharp and see if they can start learning for future days or things that are happening, but also make the new people do it to make sure they're still up on the skills. Because if you don't practice anything, it's gonna, you're gonna lose it. But it also makes trying to see and read isobars, isotherms and everything a little easier, and you get more hands-on practice with it. And if, like for me, if that was too much data, sometimes what I would do is I'll start with a lower density. So for me, if this one's a little too easy with the lowest density and it's gonna be harder to start drawing my lines, I am gonna go to just a low density and try and contour this. And if you need to, start at a small, you can zoom in and just start at this small section and then work your way out. You don't have to per se start with a whole map, but just kind of do what you do to get the practice. But it's not gonna be exact. Your map may not look the same as somebody else, but as long as you're going through your 50s for a 50-degree line, you're pretty good. If you can keep it close to a 51 and further from the 43, that's better. It doesn't have to be exact. It's not gonna be like, oh, let me get a ruler out, I'm 1 centimeter here and stuff. So that's kind of what the contouring is, and a good way to do isobars, isotherms, and get a little more familiar with those and trying to understand kind of how they help and stuff. So I think that's all for me. We have 2 minutes left. Any of you have any questions? Anybody?
Why would
Anything?
Anthony wanna do contouring temperatures with storage, just to get the idea of what the average is doing?
I honestly kind of just pulled temperature for that, but for me, I like seeing where my colders have been to see which way it moves to compare to the pressure. I would honestly probably would start with a pressure, so you can see the highs and lows, but then I like comparing temperature, because if a cold front's moving through,
Yeah,
it'll tell you where the high and the low really are, so I can see which direction it may be moving, or like
sure.
where things are. Again, it's all gonna be personal preference too. And I mean, people that have done more, like Anthony, would probably be able to answer that, like more of what they do and how they do it versus, oh no, not that one. Nope. And like just kind of give you a better idea of what they do. Anthony did say he does he'll definitely check the current storm or surface observations too. And I think he said wind to look in the upper atmosphere too, to see if the low level jet or anything is in effect as well.
Yeah.
Well, it's 1 minute till 7. Oh, but if anybody doesn't have any questions, you guys are free to go. Next week will be movie, but again, you guys can form a study group in the back and stuff, and we'll have a movie going. It'll be just an easy last one before break. And then we may have a few things to talk about, we may not, and then it'll be break, then week and finals, so we're almost there. You all are good to go.
Just. For the next couple weeks, 'cause,